I stared at the eviction notice. It was taped to their door. My mother stood behind me crying. She grabbed my arm so tight. "You have to fix this, Sarah. You have the money for this. Don't let us sleep outside tonight." I looked at my brother Mark. He was playing on his phone. He didn't even look up once. They expected me to save them. They thought I was their bank. I gently pulled my arm away. I looked my mother in the eyes. "I am not paying this, Mom." Her face turned pale with shock. "But we will be homeless, Sarah. That is not my problem anymore." I turned around and walked away. I left them standing in silence. It was the hardest thing ever, but it was also my freedom. Let me tell you how this happened. My father died 10 years ago. I was only 20 years old. I had to grow up fast. My mother fell apart that year. She stopped working almost immediately. My brother Mark was only 15. I felt responsible for both of them. I worked 2 jobs back then. I paid the rent every month. I bought all the groceries too. I paid for Mark's school fees. I gave my mother pocket money. I thought I was being good. I thought this was family duty. But 10 years is a long time. Mark eventually turned 25. He was a grown man now, but he refused to find work. My mother enabled his lazy behavior. She cooked all his meals daily. She cleaned his room for him. And she demanded I pay bills. I was now 30 years old. I had no savings at all. I drove a beat-up old car. I never went on any vacations. Every dollar went to my family. They lived better than I did. They had cable TV and Netflix. They ordered takeout food every night. I ate cheap noodles for dinner. I was drowning in their expenses. I tried to talk to them. "Mom, Mark needs a job." She would just start crying immediately. "He is trying his best, Sarah. Why are you being so mean? You make plenty of money now. Family supports family no matter what." That was her favorite manipulation line. I felt guilty every single time. So I just kept on paying. The breaking point came last month. I met a wonderful man named James. We had been dating for months. He proposed to me over dinner. I was so happy I cried. We wanted a very small wedding. We wanted to buy a house. I needed to save my money. I went to my mother's house. I showed her my engagement ring. "I am getting married next year." She didn't even smile at me. She looked at the ring coldly. "How much did that ring cost?" I was shocked by her question. "James bought this for me, Mom." "Well, you have money to spare. Mark needs a new gaming computer. His old one is too slow. It costs $2,000, Sarah." I stared at her in disbelief. "Mom, I am saving for a wedding. I cannot buy Mark a computer." Mark walked into the living room. "Why are you so stingy, Sarah? You know I want to stream. I need that computer for my career." "Streaming is not a career, Mark. You haven't made a single dollar." Mark threw his controller at the wall. "You just don't support my dreams. You are selfish and greedy, Sarah." My mother nodded in agreement. "Your brother is right about you. You prioritize yourself over your family. We need that money right now. If you don't pay, get out." Something snapped inside my heart then. I looked at this toxic house. I looked at their ungrateful faces. I had paid rent for a decade. I had fed them for years. And they called me stingy today. They called me selfish and greedy. Because I wanted my own life? You want me to get out? My voice was shaking with rage. "Fine, I will get out today. But if I leave, I leave. I take my money with me." My mother laughed in my face. "You will be back next week. You love us too much, Sarah. Now go buy the computer." I grabbed my purse and keys. I walked out the front door. I did not buy the computer. I drove straight to my apartment. I sat down at my laptop. I logged into my bank account. I canceled the automatic rent transfer. I canceled the electric bill payment. I canceled the internet and cable. I cut every single financial tie. It felt terrifying to do it, but I knew it was necessary. 2 days later, my phone rang. It was my mother calling me. "The internet is not working, Sarah. Fix it right now, please." I took a deep breath in. "I canceled the internet service, Mom. I am not paying it anymore." There was a silence on the line. "What do you mean you canceled? How will Mark play his games?" "Mark can get a job, Mom. Mark can pay for the internet." She started screaming into the phone. "You are ruining his life, Sarah. Turn it back on right now." I hung up the phone immediately. I blocked her number for the day. A week later, rent was due. I usually transferred the money early, but this time, I sent nothing. My brother sent me angry texts. Where's the rent money, Sarah? The landlord is calling us today. Mom is crying because of you. You are such a terrible sister. I replied with one simple text. I told you I am done. Pay the rent yourself, Mark. Welcome to the real world. I turned off my phone again. I spent the weekend with James. We looked at beautiful wedding venues. For the first time, I felt free. I wasn't worrying about their bills. I wasn't stressing about their food. I was building my own future. But the storm was just starting. 3 weeks passed without my help. I unblocked my mother's phone number. I had 50 missed calls from her. I had 20 voicemails screaming at me. The electricity has been cut off. All the food in the fridge spoiled. How could you do this, Sarah? We are sitting in the dark. I felt a pang of guilt, but then I remembered their words. They called me stingy and selfish. They didn't appreciate my sacrifice at all. If I went back now, I lost. If I paid, nothing would change. I stayed strong and stayed silent. Then the eviction notice finally arrived. The landlord had enough of them. They hadn't paid a single dollar. That brings us to today. I stood there, on the porch. The eviction notice was bright orange. My mother was begging and pleading. Please, Sarah, just pay the arrears. It is $3,000. We will be good, I promise. Mark will look for a job. I looked at Mark, right then. He was still playing his game. He was using his phone data. He didn't look scared at all. He thought I would fix it. He thought I was a fool. I looked back at my mother. I don't have the money, Mom. I put it into my house. I spent it on my wedding. You said I was selfish, right? So I spent it on myself. Her face dropped in pure horror. You spent our money on yourself? It was never your money, Mom. It was always my hard-earned money. The moving truck is coming, Sarah. Where will we go tonight? Can we come live with you? This was the final test now. If I let them move in, my relationship with James would end. My peace would be gone forever. They would never leave my house. I looked her in the eyes. No, you cannot live with me. You have to figure this out. You are two capable adults. You have 10 hours to pack. I walked away to my car. I heard my mother screaming my name. I heard her cursing me out. You are an ungrateful daughter. I hope you rot in hell. Her true colors finally came out. It wasn't about love for me. It was always about the money. I drove away with tears falling, but they were tears of relief. I heard later from a cousin, they ended up in a shelter. Mark finally had to get work. He washes dishes at a diner. My mother is living with friends. She sleeps on a different couch. They lost the house that day. They lost their comfort and cable. They lost their free ride forever. It didn't have to be this way. If they had just been grateful, if they had treated me kindly, I would have helped them always. But they got greedy and mean, and now they have absolutely nothing. I bought my house last week. It has a beautiful garden. James and I are so happy. It is quiet and peaceful here. My phone doesn't ring with demands. My bank account is finally growing. I learned a valuable lesson. You cannot set yourself on fire just to keep other people warm, even if those people are family. Sometimes you have to walk away. Sometimes you have to be the villain to save your own life. I chose myself for the first time, and I don't regret it at all.